Yeah, it started, so I'm gonna put it in my pocket now. Yes. So when I was like a little kid, I kind of had the idea that like I wanted to serve a mission, but then like kind of when I got into high school, when I was a teenager, I kind of like stopped caring about church stuff. Like I still went every Sundays, but it was kind of just because like my parents expected me to go. That was the idea that I had. Like I'm just, not gonna go on a mission. I'm gonna go to school. Like it just isn't really for me. And then sort of like in this consecutive space of time, like my great grandma and then also like a friend that I knew like passed away kind of unexpectedly. It made me think about like whether God actually existed, and like if he did, like what did he expect of me? I kept on going to church, but this time like with the intention of communicating with Heavenly Father. Like I went there with the intention of like finding out for myself whether it was true or not. And then for a while, like I ended up like, just having these like small experiences where I felt like a little, like, I don't know, like something in my heart telling me that it was true. And that was sort of just like the confirmation, like you need to like get your life in order and like you need to serve a mission. Like that's like the next step in life for you. I'm doing this because I know I have to, because I feel like it's right in my heart. And, I guess that's like what I think the purpose of life is, like, doing what makes you happy, like trying to be good with God.
Okay, dear Elder Abbott, you are hereby called to serve as a missionary in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You are assigned to labor in the Mexico Chapala mission. It is anticipated you will serve for a period of 24 months.
I think in my mind I had this idea that like being a missionary was going to be really easy, but it was like such a crazy change, like going from like, the suburbs of Chicago to like out in the boonies in Veracruz, Mexico. So it was like a really humbling experience, but honestly like it was super special too. Like I got to see like a lot of miracles. We're able to help people, like, I guess, feel the love that God has for them. Like, we were able to either, like, provide service or just say, like, the right words for them to understand that, like, God exists and that he really, like, actually is conscious about, like, what these people are going through. And that was, like, super humbling that, like, I could be a part of that. So when COVID started picking up, like, I think I first noticed when, they ended up canceling, like, in-person church. That was, like, a huge deal. Like, that's never ever happened before. So I remember one day we were on this call with somebody from Mexico City that was like supposed to help us with like the financial end of things. And he was like this is like not 100% sure, but we're pretty sure that every like foreign missionary, every missionary that is not Mexican that is like serving in your mission is gonna get pulled out and they're just gonna go back home.
Right now, we're just finding out that everybody, all the strangers, all the foreigners are being taken out of our mission.
Las personas con 18 meses básicamente están terminando con su misión.
Yeah, honestly, like I didn't even know how to react. Like I kind of couldn't believe it. And then like a few weeks later, me and like all of the other foreign missionaries that weren't Mexicans were on a plane going back home, which is wild. I made it back home and everything was shut down. Like I couldn't go hang out with my friends. Like I couldn't go like look for a job. I couldn't study anything. Like I just had to be at home like the whole time pretty much, because everything was like the full force of COVID was like happening at that time. It made me think a lot about like, the effort that I had put in like the first 7 months. And it was a little bit difficult because like I knew in my heart that like I could have tried harder, that I could have like done my part to serve better. Like I could have taken advantage of my time more, and I could have like strived to actually have like a better relationship with God. Like I felt like maybe I slacked off like a little more than I should have. I talked to one of my church leaders that was like kind of in charge of like the broader Chicago area. And he was like, yeah, like the missionaries that got sent home, like they're gonna get reassigned to like a mission here in the United States. And I was like hyped. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like my chance to do it right. And I remember he was like, yeah, like in a few days they'll give you your reassignment, so just like hang tight. I was gonna go serve in Houston, Texas. I just got like really hyped in those days to like get back. Like when I think about my time in Texas, like what I feel happiest about is like the fact that I didn't slack off like the way I did in Mexico. Like I actually tried working like as hard as I possibly could, and I felt like in turn like my relationship with God like grew, and I felt like happier. I felt like I had more accountability. Sometimes being a missionary is not like the easiest thing. Like it's not always super enjoyable, but at the same time, even though it is hard and it does force you to like get out of your comfort zone, and there is like a lot of things that you're just gonna have to have patience with, like it changes like the person that you are. I don't think I've talked to a single missionary or single return missionary that doesn't have some miracle to share about their mission, some like moment where it was just so obvious that like God was thinking about these people and like made it known. I think probably the biggest thing that I learned, or like what I felt God taught me on the mission, is that I can't go through life without like relying on him. And I learned that like the only way that I can really make it through and be successful and continuously like be growing is if I'm like constantly recognizing that like I'm like nothing compared to him, and he's the one that's like in charge. He's the one that like knows what's best for me, and like that if I trust him, like he's gonna show me what I need to do.